My name is Ruth. I'm one of the pastors here, and I'm going to be talking for just a very few minutes, actually, and then I'm going to tell you about these interesting things that we have around the room that you can actually go and visit and interact with. So in just under 4 weeks from now, we'll have a holiday. Does anyone know what holiday is coming up? Anybody you could call out? Christmas. All right. Yeah. Had anybody forgotten, by the way, that Christmas was coming? Anybody? No. It would kind of be hard to forget, right? As soon as Halloween is over, sometimes before, as soon as back to school is over, sometimes it feels like, the stores start with the Christmas stuff, right? Out come the decorations and the Christmas music. Maybe you got some gift catalogs in the mail. Maybe you've heard, seen Christmas commercials on TV. Perhaps some of you have put up your trees already. Who's put up your tree at home? Anybody? A few people. All right, and obviously people did a wonderful job last week of putting up the trees. Let's give everybody a round of applause, making it so pretty. It looks lovely. So, of course, it would actually be really hard not to know that Christmas is coming, right? Because Christmas is a big deal in our culture. Some of us might have started digging out our favorite Christmas movies. Has anybody watched a Christmas movie yet? Oh, no. Gosh, really? Okay, great. That's great. So some of your favorites might be up there. Some of the movies you least like might be up there as well. So some movies that come around every year. And we have special things to eat and drink, right? So I'm English, so I'm particularly partial to mince pies and mulled wine. I know other people like eggnog and candy canes and all kinds of special food and drink that we have around this time of year. But what has eggnog or movies about elves or Christmas decorations, what has all that stuff got to do with Christmas? What is it that we're actually celebrating? Well, that's what we're going to be looking at this morning. And for the next 4 weeks, as Matthew mentioned, we'll look at some Christmas books and movies, poems, even commercials. And we'll see what do they actually tell us about Christmas. Now, if you were here for the beginning of the service, which I know is hard for some of us, but actually we had a good crowd this morning, so you will have seen that Mr. Grinch does not like Christmas, right? He really did not. He hated all the noisy games and the singing and the decorations and the feast. He hates all that stuff. And he said that he wanted to stop Christmas from coming. Does anybody know what happens next in that movie? You can shout out. It's okay. Anybody? What happens next in the movie? He steals all the Christmas stuff. That's exactly right. He steals it all, right? And he thinks that way Christmas won't come. Did that plan work? Oh, that was very emphatic. Well, let's see. Let's see in this next clip if Mr. Grinch's plan to stop Christmas coming worked.
Then it started to grow. This sound wasn't sad. What? This sound sounded glad. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. He puzzled and puzzed till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
So even though he stole all the presents and the food and the decorations and everything, Christmas still came because it didn't come from a store. The Grinch was very surprised by that. He was puzzled in his puzzler. I think actually even at the end of the story, the Grinch still didn't know what Christmas was all about. He didn't really know what is Christmas then. I'm not totally sure the person who made this film actually was totally sure what Christmas was all about. But he did realize that it was much more than he thought it was. Now, Mr. Grinch actually is not the first person to get confused about what Christmas really means. Thousands of years ago, long before Jesus was even born, people looked forward to this great day that God had promised would come. A day that they knew would be really, really wonderful, but a day that they weren't totally sure what would happen on that day. Prophets are people who listen to God and tell the people what they think God is saying. And the prophets told the people that God would send a king, a ruler, who would bring peace and justice. This is what one of the prophets called Isaiah wrote. Now those people live in darkness, but they will see a great light. They live in a place that is very dark, but a light will shine on them. God, you will cause the nation to grow. You will make the people happy, and they will show their happiness to you. It will be like the joy during harvest time. A child will be born to us. God will give us a son. He will be responsible for leading the people. His name will be Wonderful Counselor, Powerful God, Father who lives forever, Prince of Peace. Power and peace will be in his kingdom. It will continue to grow. He will rule as king on David's throne and over David's kingdom. He will make it strong by ruling with goodness and fair judgment. He will rule it forever and ever. And then we also read these words in the book of Isaiah. Jerusalem, get up and shine. Your light has come. The glory of the Lord shines on you. Darkness now covers the earth. Deep darkness covers her people. But the Lord shines on you, and people see God's glory around you. Nations will come to your light. Kings will come to the brightness of your sunrise. Look around you. People are coming, gathering and coming to you. They are your sons coming from far away, and your daughters are coming with them. When you see them, you will shine with happiness. You will be excited and full of joy. So the people knew God was going to do something really, really special, and it would bring joy to all the nations, to people all over the world. But what would that be exactly? What did it mean for a light to shine in the darkness? How would people all over the world even know that it was God's special day? Well, people thought about this, and some people thought, well, we need to expect something big and loud to happen on God's special day so everybody will know. Perhaps there will be a big battle and a hero will come in and will defeat all our enemies, and then everybody will know that it's God's special day. Or perhaps there'll be a king in a royal palace who'll become really powerful and rich, and everybody will come and say, yes, this is the greatest king that ever lived. Or perhaps there'll be a huge parade and everyone will come and be cheering and promising always to obey this new ruler sent by God. They knew something was going to happen, but weren't too sure what that would be. But when Christmas came, it was not what they thought. It was much smaller and quieter, more personal, more intimate. God on earth was not an invincible warrior that no one could stop, or a rich, powerful king, but a tiny, vulnerable baby boy born to poor parents in a little village called Bethlehem. What a surprise. Christmas came, but it wasn't at all what people were expecting. So today we are going to try and experience something of that first Christmas and the strangeness of it all. So we're going to have to use our imaginations because we've heard this story many, many times before, and it's easy just to not think about it. But we're going to try and imagine that this is the first time we're hearing this story and how strange it is that God should come to us this way, in a humble, vulnerable, and in many ways, a very ordinary way. That's what we're going to think about this morning. And we're going to do that by getting up in a moment and moving around these different stations around the room. Now, it doesn't matter which order you take the different stations. And I have to be careful where I walk because this microphone will make a funny noise. So there's a little table there with a basket and a little table there. And in those, you can find a flyer. And the flyer will tell you things to think about when you go to each of these stations. So this first one over here, which I'm not going to get too close to, is a manger. This is, as you can see, it's just a simple wooden thing with straw in it. This would have been something for animals to eat out of. Jesus was born to a poor family, and lots of people are poor around the world. Lots of people are poor here in America. Most of us, if not pretty much all of us, on a global scale, we are not poor. We have a house to live in. We have clothes to wear, we have food to eat. We might not be very rich, although if you are, there are some offering towers at the back, so just so you know. We might not be very rich, but compared to most of the world, actually, we are rich. But spend some time here thinking about how Jesus was born. Because some of us, even though we are relatively rich, we're not content. We always think we want more. So that's something that you can think about at that station. Over here, you'll see it when you get up. There is the gifts from the Magi, from the wise men that visited Jesus. And there's gold, frankincense, and myrrh. It's not real gold, so you don't need to pocket it, but feel free to pick it up. There's gold and there's frankincense. Now, frankincense, you can watch the frankincense and smell it. Don't pick it up because it's hot. Okay, so it does have fire in it. Don't pick that one up. And then myrrh in a little cup at the end. You can pick that up and smell it. So you'll see the one that's got smoke coming out. Don't pick that one up. And then on your flyer, it will tell you things to think about as you pick those up. Here at the back we have the Holy of Holies. It's not the real one. Don't worry, you won't die if you touch it. But this is it looks kind of like the Holy of Holies. What is the Holy of Holies? Good question. So in the time of Jesus, in the temple was a very special place that only the high priest could go in, only at certain times. And so this very special place was a place that people believed that was where God really was. And God is everywhere, but they thought in that place, you really meet God. Now we know God is with us wherever we go. But this also is an opportunity for us to step in here and just invite God to speak to us. And so put your listening ears on and just go in there quietly and listen and just say that we want to meet with God. So it's there. At the back, behind everybody, you will see a road made with hard stones. Now, Mary and Joseph had to walk. Where did they walk to? Anybody remember? Where did they go to? Where did they have to go to? They had to walk to Bethlehem. So from Nazareth to Bethlehem is about 100 miles, a very long way. Lots of our Christmas cards have a donkey on, but they were poor people, so chances are they walked. That would have been very hard, especially if you're very pregnant, right? That would have been very hard. So you might want to walk along that road and think about, are there some hard things in your life? And maybe talk to God about that. Then over here, we have a stable. Now this has got straw inside and also poop inside, okay? So do not go in it because your moms will not be pleased, okay? So, but you can stick your head in. We kind of think of a stable sometimes on our Christmas cards again. It looks all so sweet and nice and everybody's clean and cuddly, but actually it would have been dark and smelly, right? So that's something to think about over there. And then in the middle, we have communion. Everybody is welcome to come to communion. So we're not going to have a special time of communion at the end. This is one of our stations. Come to communion. Again, on your flyer, it will tell you some things to think about. All right, so we are going to take about 15 minutes now when you can get up and go to the different stations, and then the band will play some music to draw us back together. All right, have fun.
Child of wonder, close your eyes. Rest here in my arms tonight. Someday you will save the world, but tonight I'll hold you right here in my arms. Precious miracle of life, child of love, gift of hope, the gift of light from the Father above. And you were made for all mankind, and you will always be mine, child of love. Gabriel's promise has come true. God has blessed this world with you. As I humbly hold you now, in my heart I know I'm holding heaven's child. Precious miracle of life, child of love, gift of hope, the gift of light from the Father above. And you were made for all mankind, but you will always be mine, child of love. Precious miracle of life, child of love, gift of hope, the gift of light from the Father above. And you were made for all mankind, but you will always be mine, child of love. Child of wonder, close your eyes.
Hello, we are Lauren, Erin, Ivy, and Miranda, and we are going to light the first candle on our Advent wreath.
The Advent candle today represents hope. For many hundreds of years, the prophets waited in hope for God to bring light into the darkness. They longed to know that God was with them and that God loved them. On the night when Jesus was born, hope came into the world in a new and wonderful way. Jesus is proof that God loves us more than we can imagine. The baby Jesus grew up and showed us how to live God's way, the way of love.
As we light this candle, let us invite Jesus to bring his light and hope into our lives.
O God, your light shines when all other lights go out. Light a fire of hope in our hearts. O God, your life makes all things new. Let hope light a fire of imagination, situations that seem dead. O God, your love shines in the darkest of places. Let hope light a fire of love in our hearts, and let us show that love to all.
If you're able, please stand and sing along with us as we sing our closing song.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ by highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord. Late in time, behold him come, offspring of the favored one. Veiled in flesh, the Godhead see, hail incarnate deity. Please as man with us to dwell, Jesus our Emmanuel. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hail the heavenborn Prince of Peace, hail the Son of Righteousness. Light and life to all he brings, risen with healing in his wings. Mild he lays his glory by, born that we no more may die. Born to raise all those on earth, born to give them second birth. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Thanks, everyone. We do have some Advent reflections available. They're on our website, and everything to do with Advent is on our website at crcc.org/Advent. So an easy place to find everything. And they are, our Advent reflections this year are based around commercials. So if you go to our website, you can watch the commercial and then look at the discussion questions. There is a hard copy also outside on the welcome table, but obviously that doesn't have the commercial live there. So you